Yeah.
So
You speak about legacy, and I want to talk about the man who lost, Lamar Jackson. I want to talk about his legacy and where he stands today. If you look at it from the perspective of Lamar Jackson was 2 wins away from football immortality. 2 wins away. AFC Championship, Super Bowl. 2 wins away, 2 games away from football immortality. Okay. He is most likely 2-time MVP. He's a 1-time MVP, most likely 2-time MVP. So maddening to him to take this defeat, spiking his helmet out of anger after throwing a pick to Deion Bush, one of his late passes. Super frustrating for him. He remains on the verge of becoming only the 6th quarterback in NFL history to win MVP honors twice in his first 6 seasons as a starter. The 5 others, Patrick Mahomes, Steve Young, Brett Favre, Johnny Unitas, and Kurt Warner, pretty elite company. But all of those people won championships. They won Super Bowls in those 6-year spans. Lamar Jackson will remain the only one who has not. His record in the playoffs is 2-4. Now, somebody who also had a very similar record in the playoffs at this point was Peyton Manning, who's also 2-4. So some people have been pointing at that a little bit. The situations
who did
are
Peyton
a
Manning
little
keep
bit.
running into?
Mr. Tom Brady. Now, the differences though is Peyton Manning, his defense ranked. The scoring defense ranked 29th over his first 6 seasons, while Lamar Jackson's is ranked 2nd since he became the starter in Week 10 of the 2018 season. So on average, 2, while Manning's was 29th. Top 5 defense kind of magnifies the missed opportunity. The challenge will get tougher for Baltimore, especially since their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, as of today, is out. Right? He just got hired with Seattle. Not expected. When I was typing this up, this says if he leaves for a head coaching job, he left for a head coaching job literally the next day after I typed this up. So, and then on top of that, so if we're talking about Peyton Manning, Lamar Jackson, Peyton Manning carried a huge contract into the league as the first player chosen in the 1998 draft, which predated the rookie wage scale. Lamar Jackson costs a very small fraction of that, but now he is going to, his cap carries between 32.4 million and 74.7 million over the next 4 seasons. It's going to hinder a lot of efforts to re-sign players. They have some free agency guys that we're going to talk about here in a minute. A lot of free agency guys. It's not just 1 or 2 or a little bit here and there. We're talking about big time players on their team with not a whole lot of cap space to work with. This part here is kind of frustrating typing this all out because I like Lamar Jackson. I'm a Lamar Jackson supporter. This hurt,
you might say.
This hurt his legacy so much. We talked about who it meant the least to on one side, and that's Patrick Mahomes. This playoff run meant the least to him on this side. It meant the most to Lamar Jackson. Complete polar opposites. And the guy who it meant the least to came out with the victory. And the guy over here is being stared at, being like, you're getting this massive contract. You're a 2-time MVP. You're not a Super Bowl winner, though. Where do we go from here? And your defense is really, 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 really good. Where do we go from here? Obviously, there's not much you could do. This is Lamar Jackson. You signed him up. You secured the contract. We talked about tiers of quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson's probably a tier 2 quarterback. You don't win because of Lamar Jackson, but he's like king of tier 2. He's going to put you in the situation to win, but you're not going to win because of Lamar Jackson. There's only a couple of tier 1 guys. Patrick Mahomes is one of the tier 1 guys. You win because of him. That's in my mind. Joe Burrow, in my mind, is actually a tier 1 guy as well. You win because of Joe Burrow. You look at the talent he had when they made that Super Bowl run. A lot of that wins came off of Joe Burrow's back. Yes, talented roster, but not as talented as some of Lamar Jackson's counterpieces on defense. This hurts him big time. And it's frustrating, again, as a Lamar Jackson fan. It sucked to type this out. It was really, really, really difficult. I'll say that much. Where does Lamar Jackson's legacy kind of sit today? What do you think about it? Where's he go in the future seasons?
So I have thoughts on Lamar, but you know what's funny is I was like going over my head what I was going to say, and then you completely hijacked me by bringing up the rookie scale contract, Peyton Manning, and the contract he signed, and I was just thinking to myself how rich Sam Bradford is, and how completely useless as an NFL quarterback he was. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder what Sam Bradford is doing right now. He lives in probably Arizona on a golf course or something really, really nice. And the thing about it is MVP is a individual award and a Super Bowl is a team award, I
Absolutely.
think. So it doesn't surprise me that players have MVPs and they don't have Super Bowls. I think that when you look at Lamar and his inability to win playoff games, I just think it really comes down to some players have it and some players don't. And some players act really, really tight. You know, after the Chiefs won that game, there wasn't much of a celebration that went on. It didn't seem like it almost like Patrick Mahomes, like, the fuck? You thought I was gonna lose to Lamar Jackson? Like, are you seriously crazy? And hey, listen, this is why we do this podcast, so we can get this proof in the pudding. I said the Chiefs were gonna win, and you thought Lamar was gonna win. And Patrick Mahomes, like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, I'm Patrick Mahomes. I'm not losing to Lamar. I'm not losing to Josh Allen. I'm gonna not have a great regular season
game too.
And then you can find me in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I'll be waiting, and we'll see what happens there. And the only people that could beat me are the GOAT and a Bengals team where I had, two guys off the couch playing left and right tackle for me, and that's why I lost that game. So for his legacy, he's still very young, and he's locked up, and you only need one Super Bowl, man. Like Mike McCarthy, Super Bowl ring. John Harbaugh, Super Bowl ring. Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl ring. These dudes all have Super Bowls. Jim Harbaugh, he just said there's no Lombardi trophy in college football. That's why he's back, because he wants the Super Bowl ring. You only need one. Like Trent Williams, All-Pro, Hall of Famer, one of the best tackles to ever play the game. It doesn't mean as much if you don't have a ring, but you only need one. And Lamar has a big, he still has a lot of years in front of him, but it's important to his personal legacy to try to win a Super Bowl at some point. Obviously, try. I'm sure he tries. But I just question whether or not his style of play can be the catalyst to winning a Super Bowl, because so often it comes down to you got to go all the way down the field. I mean, Brock Purdy, the come behind victory against the Packers, he led him down the field, and then we scored 24 points unanswered last week by, and it's kind of funny because he won. He did that a lot with his feet, but when crunch time comes and push comes to shove, there's just throws you have to be able to make. There's plays you have to be able to make, and I have no doubt if the Chiefs were the ones that were down 17-3 or 17-10, Lamar could have played his game and played his style, and they could have won that game. But if you and me had done this podcast last week and I'd said to you, hey, Jacob, Chiefs going to score 17 points. What do you think? I think everybody would have taken the Rams. You're going to hold the Chiefs to 17 points and you're not going to win that game.
Yeah.
That's, that's hard.
Yeah.
And how do you get better? How do you retool and come back next year? You're losing one of your star inside linebackers because you didn't offer him his 5th-year option, and you have a bunch of other free agents, and you got Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad bashing you on social media, so he's probably not going to be back. Not that we give a crap about him or his dad, but you got to retool, and you got to try to figure out a way to come back and do something different, because what you've done the last couple of years hasn't worked.